come on into the webinar. My name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your host for this afternoon where, yes, we're going to talk about how you can still get grants, how there are even more grants available in many areas right now. Yes, 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 they are still available. So as you come in, say hello to me because today is going to be awesome, 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 awesome. Now, I am in the land not too far from Cleveland, Ohio. So I want to know where you are coming in from. Give that city and that state a shout out as you come in. Give that city and that state a shout out. Hello, Marjorie Jenkins. Where are you coming in from? Hello, Marjorie, coming in from Panama City, Panama. Welcome. And Jacqueline is coming in from Charlotte, North Carolina. Who else? Who else? Who else is with us today? I'm going to just wait a few more minutes and let a few more people come in, and then we are going to get started. We're going to get started. I'm so excited we're going to get started because I do have a lot of really important information to share with you. Yes, about grants. Absolutely about grants. All right. Sheila Brown is coming in from Jacksonville, Florida. And Marjorie says, I just moved from Charlotte. From Charlotte. Let's see, let's see, let's see. She's shouting out her Charlotte sister. Paula, Oklahoma. And Georgetta is in Fort Worth, Texas. Texas is absolutely positively in our thoughts and prayers today. And let's see, let's see, let's see. All right. Kathleen, upstate New York. Oh, that just sounds beautiful, right? Upstate New York. We're going to get started because I really do have a lot of information. I'm so glad that you decided to hop on today because this is important information for you. I don't want you to keep it to yourself. I want you to be able to share it with other organizations because what I'm going to be saying to you today, you will not hear from a lot of other grant experts, right? Or those in the grant world. I'm going to let you know exactly what's going on and why now is an absolute great time for you, yes, you, to apply and win these grants. All right. Now, I'm going to share my screen. And as I always say, it's like come through technology. Come on through. Okay, that is looking good. And all right. Let's see. There we are. There we are. So now everybody should be able to see my screen. All right. So let me make sure everybody's in the right place. This is grant writing for women-owned businesses and women-led nonprofits. And yes, this is for you if you are a business or a nonprofit. All right. That's very important. Now, let me give you some information about me and my background. Yes, well, I need to just feel like I need to be a little bit close. I'm just going to scoot up a little bit. All right. They call me the Grants Queen because I have secured almost $18 million now worth of funding and business development for clients. And this is year 17 of me owning my company, LaPav Consulting. And every one of those years, I've been a professional grant writer. I provide grant writing presentations and instruction all over the country for smaller private organizations, for your larger organizations, such as the Urban League and Goldman Sachs. And I completed my undergraduate and graduate degrees from the University of Akron. Go Zips, go Zips. All right. So I have a business now, but I used to lead a nonprofit. Oh, so I've been on both sides of the coin. All right. So I want to know who is here with me today. Let me know in the chat. Are you a small business or are you a nonprofit or maybe you're both? Because I know that a lot of for-profits are starting to create nonprofit divisions of their organization. So let me know in the chat, nonprofit, for-profit, or maybe you're both. All right, let me know. Jacqueline is both. Excellent, excellent. It means you've placed yourself in a great position to get grants, and Georgetta as well. Kathleen, small business. My mother used to work for CF. CF. What is CF? And for-profit solopreneur, Marjorie, you need to know that solopreneurs can get cystic fibrosis. Sis, you probably worked for that large nonprofit organization. Solopreneurs, Marjorie, can get grants too. I want you to keep that up here as we move through. Yes, solopreneurs get grants too. All right, all right, all right. Now, let me move forward. So I asked you that question though, so that you understand right from the beginning that you can get grants as a small business and a nonprofit, right? So there are grants for both. All right. So all of you keep that in mind. There are grants for small businesses, meaning you could be a solopreneur, or you could be a sole proprietor, or you could be a partnership or an LLC. Nonprofits, that's pretty simple. Just know that there's grant money for both entities. All right. Now, how did I get here? I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania. I got hurt. When I got hurt, I literally had to put everything I own. I went from traveling the world, right, to just phenomenal places, to putting everything I own into a storage unit in Cleveland, Ohio, because I had to move back home to get medical help because they couldn't help me in Pennsylvania. Literally had to come home in a wheelchair, had to be seen by the Cleveland Clinic. Everything I owned was placed into a storage unit, moved in with my sister. Literally took me 2 years to recuperate, 2 years to recuperate. And at the end of those 2 years, I couldn't even find a job. I'm in Cleveland, right? My experiences in publishing in Pennsylvania, I couldn't find a job. That is when I founded Lapov Consulting. That's when I opened up my business. It was because I like to eat and I needed a roof over my head, my own roof, right? So when I tell you, I know how it is to start from ground zero. I think I started from sub-zero because I was hurt. I couldn't do anything right. And then I was able to at least work and couldn't find any work. So I started from ground zero. So I know exactly how it feels to start from nothing. All right. But I did it. I started Lapov Consulting. It's been 17 years. I haven't looked back. Whoa, 17 years ago when I first started, one of my first contract positions as the new Lapov Consulting, right? It just opened, was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. And I don't think I was there maybe 2 weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant that would pay for my salary. Now, ladies, I had never seen a grant before. I had no knowledge of grants. It just wasn't in my wheelhouse. And I like to keep it real. Those of you who know me know I like to keep it real. I know that there are times when women, right, we are called in to do what? To save the program, to save the day, sometimes to save the entire organization. So if you know what I mean, give me a yes. Well, I did it. I researched that grant. I wrote that grant. Oh, I see. Yes. Give me some yeses if you know what I mean in the chat. Oh, yes. I know what you mean. I was there, right? So I did it. I literally I researched, I wrote that grant, I won that grant. It paid for my salary for the entire year. So when I tell you that you can win grants with zero experience, you can win grants with zero experience. What I have learned after 17 years of being in this industry is that there's a process to winning. And I have created a framework that has allowed me to win almost $18 million, right? There's a framework that I have developed that's very important, and I will share that with you as we move along because you can do this. And this is what I learned. I learned what you can do with grant money because I hear from you. I know that you are tired of using your own money to fund your nonprofit, to fund your for profit, right? Or you're tired of wearing all the hats. Are you tired of wearing like all 20 hats? Like I've been there. I know what this is like. And grant money can help you. Grant money is free to you. You don't pay it back, right? And you can use grant money to hire help, to hire staff, right? To hire supplies that you need. We'll talk more about what you can do with grant money, right? But there's a connection between winning these grants and being able to not just stay open, but literally thrive. And that's why grant money is so important. I'm so glad you decided to join me today so that you can get the correct information, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about grants. You're going to get what is correct today. I've been in this industry for 17 years. All right. What else will we talk about? I'm going to give you the current grant landscape, and you are going to be surprised about what is happening with grants. It's probably not what you think. All right. And then I'm going to show you how to prepare to apply. I will show you what to write in the application. How do you write the application so that you're getting noticed in a sea of applications? And then I'm going to show you how to do the grant research so that you are finding the money. You're finding organizations that want to fund you, and they are plentiful, let me tell you. All right. And then I have a bonus surprise at the end, and then we're going to do a Q&A. Speaking of Q&A, I want you to drop your questions. This is really important. Drop your questions in either the chat or the Q&A box, right? This is your opportunity to ask a grants expert your questions about grants. So this is not the time to be shy. All right. Ask those questions, however many you want. All right. Now I'm here to help you because they have put some serious roadblocks in our way as women leaders, right? As women-led organizations, as small businesses, as nonprofits. They have put some serious hurdles in our way. I'm here to knock them down. I'm here to knock them down and give you a way through this, because there's a way through this. All right. Now, why are we even here? We are here because we as women leaders need access to money. And it shouldn't always be about loans. Are you as tired as I am of hearing about loans? Right? There's grant money available, and grant money is not paid back to you, right? You don't have to pay it back. So once you get it, you keep it, right? And let me tell you, you can do this. Grant writing is not what it used to be. You're not writing some 500-page document for 3 months at a time. A lot of these grant applications now, 2, 3, 4 pages. Why? Because foundations no longer have the staff to sit and read through a 100-page grant application, especially when many of them are receiving hundreds of applications, right? So the process has been so streamlined. You can do this, but understand there's a process. That's what I've learned after having been in this industry for 17 years and won over $18 million. There is a process to winning. Yes, there is. And guess what? It is about more than what you write in the application. And that is what I'm going to share with you today, the process. But you have to promise me that you're not going to keep this information to yourself, because there are other organizations out there, women-led organizations, that need to hear this as well. All right? I see some great questions. Please keep asking them. Don't be shy. Keep asking them. All right. Now, let me tell you what's going on with grants. And this is what you need to know. This is critical. Yes, federal grants have been cut. Yes, federal grants have been rescinded. Yes, federal grants have been eliminated. But guess what? Federal grants do not equal all grants. There are literally billions of dollars in grant money still available, being given out every single day, because grants also come from private, community, family, and corporate foundations, not just the federal government. I rarely even discuss federal grants because they're difficult to get. There's so much money available to you from private, community, family, and corporate foundations. And guess what? Yes, they give to nonprofits and small businesses, so you're covered. But just keep in mind, try to diversify your funding. Like, I don't ever want you to put all your eggs in one basket, especially now that they're what? $12 a dozen? $12 a dozen. Diversify. Yes, seek grants, but also seek sponsorships and individual donations and corporate contracts, especially small businesses. You should be seeking corporate contracts. All right. So money is available, and money has been increased in many areas. This is what you're not hearing. There's literally more money available in many areas. And there's a unique opportunity that exists right now for you because you hopped on this webinar that most people, I guarantee you, will not know. One, there's less competition right now for some of these grants. You know why? Because a lot of people are thinking there are no more grants. They're thinking that because the federal government cut grants, that's it, there are no more grants. So there's a little less competition. So what are you going to do? You're going to swoop in and start applying for these grants. Two, and this is what is so phenomenal about what's happening. This has actually been a benefit of what is going on in the White House and all those cuts. Your local community foundations, your corporate foundations, your family foundations, your private foundations, they are actually increasing their money. They are increasing the amount of grants being given. Why? Because they're trying to fill in the gaps left by the federal grant cuts. So again, an opportunity for you to especially look inward, right? Many of you, I need for you to go to your local community foundations and your local corporations that are giving grants. Focus there first, right? Because they have increased the amount of their grant funding, right? So opportunity number 2 for you, all right? Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about DEI. Now, we know that DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we've heard about all of the cuts, but this is what I want you to know. And this is how you're going to get around the cuts to still get grant money. Because there are many foundations. This is who they give to. Diversity, equity, inclusion, that includes women, minorities, veterans, the disabled. This is who they give to. They're going to not just stop giving to their communities because of what's coming out of the White House. So what are they doing instead so that they don't get pinged, right? They're using different language. They're tweaking their language. So instead of saying women or Black or African American, they're tweaking that language a bit. And this is exactly what you're going to do. Now, I'm going to show you how to do it because these foundations have not just decided to give up. They are still giving grant money to these communities that are involved within DEI. They're just doing it a smart way so that they don't feel the wrath coming from the White House. But here's more good news for you. There are some foundations that they haven't changed a word of their language. They give to communities that are within DEI, racial equity, they're giving to women, minority communities. They haven't changed a word. Organizations like the Ford Foundation and the Kellogg Foundation. Why? Because they're like 100 years old. They are much less affected by what's going on in the White House. They have old private money, right? Old private money that they're giving out. And then even your newer foundations like Google, Apple, Delta, Costco, their programs oftentimes are literally based on DEI. So they've been giving to these communities for a few years, so they're not going to stop. They're going to tweak the language. And this is what I want you to do. It's called Quiet DEI. So let's say you have a program where you focus on opportunities for Black boys. You have a youth development program for Black boys. You don't change who you serve. You continue to serve Black boys. You tweak how you describe who you serve. So instead of saying our program offers youth development opportunities for Black boys, you're going to say we provide youth development for historically underserved and underrepresented boys, or serving boys disproportionately impacted by economic and educational inequities, or supporting boys from communities designated as high need or underrepresented in STEM. Do you see what I'm doing there? I took out the word Black and I put in the condition, underserved, underrepresented, right? Educational inequities. This is what you're going to do. Same for women. Let's say you have a program where you provide employment and career coaching for women. That's what you do. This is who you serve. You don't change who you serve. You change how you describe who you serve. So instead of saying women, you're going to say our program offers workforce development support for those facing systemic barriers to career advancement. We know that means women. Providing career development services tailored to those who experience what? Unique workforce challenges due to caregiving responsibilities, wage gaps, and systemic inequities. Women, right? So this is very important that you understand how to do this. Now, there may be times when you don't have to change a word, but if you are serving these communities, you may need to tweak that language just a bit so that you can still get your application submitted without it being pinged or pulled, right? So this is important. Let me know. Give me a yes if you get this. Give me a yes in the chat if you get what I'm doing. I'm tweaking the language. So at the end of the day, you still get that application and then you know how to look for grants. So instead of looking for grants that maybe at one point said we serve women, you're going to look for these other buzzwords, right? Workforce development support for those facing systemic barriers to career advancement, right? Or underserved or underrepresented. So give me a yes again. Give me a yes if you got this, because this is very important. This is how you're still going to get grant money, even though DEI grants have been cut by so many different organizations. All right, I see your yeses. Got it, got it, got it. Very good. Now, let's get back to the basics. What do you need to know about grants? Grants are not paid back. Now, for those of you with the nonprofits, get your 501c3. That's your tax exempt charitable organization designation by the IRS. The good news for you, if you don't have yours, it's only taking about 8 weeks. Now, make sure you're looking into the chat because I'm going to be depositing some really important links. If you need your 501c3, the IRS link is in the chat. Now, from this point forward, I'm talking not just to nonprofits, to all of you, your small businesses and your nonprofits, everybody, everybody, everybody. All right. Especially this next slide. Look at this slide. This is annual grant funding. And this is just from foundation and corporation giving, $189 billion. This is the last year that we received really great numbers. 2023, $189 billion. That is what is being given out now and more, because that number was expected to increase. So when I tell you that this grant money is available and being given out every day, what are you going to do to place your organization in a position to get it? This is what they're not telling you on TV, right? Or in the media. This money is available, and I want you to look at this number, but I don't want you to get intimidated, because oftentimes we look at these big numbers and we think, oh, there's no way I can get any of that money. At the end of the day, you just need what you need for your organization. You just need a little bit, right, of this $189 billion. So I want all of you to really think about this and to place into the chat right now, I just need a little bit. That's what I want you to focus on, what you need. You just need a little bit of $189 billion, right? Nobody's trying to be greedy. You just need what you need. And that's what I want you to focus on. So when you see these large numbers, I don't want you to be intimidated, right, Vanessa? You just need a little bit. You're not trying to be greedy, right, Jacqueline? Are you trying to get all $189 billion? No, you know what you need. You just need a little bit, Eugenia. Right. You just need a little bit. So that's what I want you to focus on. And don't be intimidated when you see these large numbers that are available. What you need to know is that this money is being given out every day, every single day. All right. Now, before you start applying for grants, you need to be grant ready. This is this is a truly important factor that too many organizations skip. You need to be grant ready. And the first thing I want you to do is really be prepared to write as well as you can, right? You don't need to be a writing expert, right? No, but I want you to have a software editing tool that will edit as you write. I love Grammarly. If you use Grammarly, like literally give yourself some love in the chat. It will self-correct as you write your Word documents. Why am I saying this? Because when you are going to submit that grant application, I don't want you having grammatical errors, right? It's going to be a mark against you. So is anybody using Grammarly? Give yourself some love in the chat. If you use, Eugenia says, I use Grammarly every day. It is free. It's absolutely free. I'm a professional editor and a writer and a grant writer. I wouldn't write without Grammarly. Vanessa says I use it faithfully. It's already embedded into my computer. So I can't help but to write without it, right? It's amazing. Thank you, Vanessa. It's amazing. Paula, you've got to download it. It's free. It's Vanessa says, I'm doing my PhD. Then you truly, truly, truly need it. All right. And courtesy of Grammarly, we have this article. It will just help make you a better writer, improve writing skills dramatically by doing these 15 things. I just don't want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. It's going to be a mark. All right. How else do you become grant ready? You get your documents in order, your EIN, your employer identification number. Nonprofits get that 501c3 ready. Now, are you a legitimate organization? Do you have your articles of incorporation? If you are a nonprofit, you know you need a board of directors. I give webinars on nonprofits and boards. Get your list together. Now, if you are a small business and you also have a board, great. Get those names together. Letters of support will only strengthen your grant application. Ask people to provide them. Drop those names. Do you know the mayor? Do you know politicians that can give you letters of support? Right? Maybe it's your pastor, your church, community leaders, your vendors. Get those letters of support. Do you have an operating budget? Don't be freaked out by this term because all this is a document where you are listing what you think your expenses are going to be over the course of a year. And you must know approximately how much money you need for expenses, right? You've got to create this little draft budget because it will also help you to determine how much grant money you should be asking for. And then now, if you're currently operating, you need your financial documents, your balance sheet, and your profit and loss statement. Profit and loss means, well, P&L means profit and loss, but also another phrase for P&L is your income statement. It's the same thing. Some people call it profit and loss, some people call it income. All right. Now, I'm going to go through the typical components of a grant application and give you best practices to make absolutely sure you're writing these components correctly. We're going to start with the mission statement. Critical. Absolutely critical. And you need a mission regardless of your status. So if you are a for-profit, you need a mission. If you are a nonprofit, you need a mission. Why? Because it not only defines who you are and what you do and your aims and your goals, it will align you to the foundation that wants to give you money because you need to align your mission to their mission. So if you know you're focused on K through 12 education, you should be seeking grants from foundations that have missions or that have values or visions that discuss education. So if you are an organization where maybe you're a bakery, you make cakes, right? You're not going to seek funding from a foundation that only gives money to people who ride motorcycles, right? You've got to align what you do with the foundations you're seeking money from. All right. Now, this section here is where you are going to set yourself apart from everybody else on this grant application. When you describe your organization, I want you to think about one word: impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? This is for nonprofits and small businesses. Let's say you open up a restaurant. You have a for-profit, right? You have a small business. What are your real numbers going to look like? Number of people you serve over the course of a year? How many employees do you have? You're changing people's lives by giving them work. What is your impact on the community? That includes number of people served, how many people you employ. Do you have additional programming? Maybe you started a little cooking school. Impact using real numbers. How many people are in the school? You have a homeless ministry. How many people are you placing in homeless shelters? And what happens once they get there? Do they go on to get a GED, get their education? Do they go on to get a job? Do they go on to be placed in permanent housing, right? Use real numbers to discuss your impact. Maybe you haven't opened. You still talk about now what you hope your impact will be using real numbers. So let's say you have a tutoring organization. You want to tutor high school kids. You can write in the application, I expect my impact will be that once those students complete my tutoring program, they will have increased reading scores by 5% or increased marketing, or rather math proficiency by 10%. So whether you are currently open or maybe you're going to open, you still have to talk about your impact or what you expect it will be using real numbers. And then when you are writing, you can't get around this. When you are writing a grant application, you really need to focus on what is the problem or issue that you are addressing. And there's always an issue. Again, it doesn't matter if you are nonprofit or for-profit. Let's say you have a bakery, you have a small business, right? You need a grant. You need a $20,000 grant because you want to relocate to a downtown community. Now you might be saying, how is she supposed to write about issues and problems? Like she's making cakes all day. What issue is she solving? Well, maybe she decided to open up a vegan bakery because vegans really don't have a lot of great places, right, to buy baked goods. That's the problem she's solving. Or maybe it's economic development because where she wants to move is an economically depressed area and she wants to move in and make a difference. So she's seeking a community development grant. There's always an issue because whatever that issue is going to lead you to the foundation that wants to give you money. Because guess what? They're giving money to organizations addressing the same issue, whether it's opening up restaurants or serving the homeless. That's why you must find out how and where foundations fund. In order to do that, you go to their websites. Now, I know 90% of foundations don't have a website. That's where you sometimes have to get a little creative in finding out information that you need about that foundation. All right, but whatever you do, write as if you're addressing an issue. Now, all of you have a decision to make, though. When you are applying for grants, are you applying for operating or program project grants? Operating grants are great because when you get an operating grant, you decide where to apply the money. Do you need it towards IT or staff or your lease? Operating grants mean you get to shore up your infrastructure. You get to pay for your administrative cost. Now, only about 32% of grants are in this category, but still, if you ever get an operating grant, it's really to help you pay for your admin cost. Have you heard of building capacity, to build up the capacity of your organization to strengthen it? Most grants have to go to a particular program or project, which is fine because even if you are a small business, you can still have a project. Maybe that restaurant wants to start a delivery service, right? We know that most nonprofits have programs or projects, so that's not difficult for those of you with a nonprofit. But whatever you do, always apply to more than one foundation. I want you to tell me why you think that's important. Let me know in the chat right now. Why do you think you must apply to multiple foundations? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why? Keep asking your questions. Why do you think that is? Why do you think you have to apply to multiple foundations? We're going to talk about sponsorships because many of you should be absolutely applying for sponsorships. Absolutely. Who is this? Marjorie, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Absolutely. Grants are not guaranteed. Please don't let anybody tell you they can guarantee you grant money, please. This is how you get scammed. I hear horror stories of people being scammed because somebody told them, oh, if you give me a few coins, I can make sure that you get the guaranteed grant money. I see it on Facebook all the time. Apply here. Everyone is guaranteed. No one's denied. 99.9% of the time, they're scammers. They're scammers. Grants are not guaranteed. So just please be careful. And whatever you do, do your due diligence in investigating organizations and people, right? Just do your due diligence. All right. Recommendations, referrals, right? Education grants run rampant on social media. Absolutely. Oh, and to be honest, I think those are typically the ones I see, education grants. You have to be careful. Or if someone's asking you, give me some money, you have to pay in order to apply. No, you don't. No, you don't. I know of one organization that has an application fee, and that's Amber Grants for Women. And that's it. and they only charge $15. So I think trying to get $30,000 is worth you paying $15, and you get to apply for all three of their grants. They are the only organization I know that charges a fee, and they're totally legitimate. All these other grants, you do not pay a fee. So please, please, please be careful. All right? There are scammers out there. Now, community partnerships are so important. Make sure that you are connecting with a well-respected organization in your community. This question is going to be on the grant application. You cannot do this alone. Foundations don't expect you to work alone. You need partnerships, and I don't mean organizations that you're somehow in contract with to split profits. No, I mean community partnerships. And oftentimes there's no money involved. Sometimes there is, it just depends. But I want to give you a couple of examples so that you understand how this works, right? Let's say you have a tax firm, maybe an accounting firm. You go to the local library. I think libraries, by the way, are criminally underutilized. They are almost perfect community partners. Let's say you have an accounting firm. You go to the library, you tell them, I want to do tax talks 1 hour a month. I want to do a free tax talk. Let people know how they can get more money back, how they can save money on taxes. They're going to promote you. The library is going to promote you. That's what they do. Why is this important on a grant application? One, it means you've got a great community partner. And two, your talk is going to raise your level of visibility. And foundations are always seeking who's doing what in the community. So now people will know you as, there's a tax expert, there's an accounting expert, so that when you apply for grants, your reputation may precede you, which will be great. Now, let me give you another example of this. Let's say you have a reentry program. Reentry means that you're working with ex-offenders to make sure they don't go back to jail. You want to make sure that once they are released into society, they become productive members. Now, I want you to tell me in the chat, who do you think they should be meeting with as community partners? Now, you know they need to interview these inmates before they are released. The person who owns this ex-offender program, she must interview the inmates to make sure they qualify for a program. But I want to hear from you in the chat. Who do you think her community partners should be? Once the prisoners are back into society, you want them to be successful, right? Don't you want them to have housing? You don't want them to be homeless, right? So shouldn't she be connecting with maybe a transitional house? Do you want them to get a job? You know, there are organizations that hire ex-offenders. Should she be meeting with them? Maybe they are addicted. Maybe they have addictions. Maybe it's drugs or alcohol. So maybe they need counseling. So I want to hear from you. What are the organizations? Who should be her partners? Who should be her partners? Exactly. Transitional housing, halfway housing. Some are called halfway houses. Some are called transitional housing. It just depends on where you live. But either way, it's an opportunity, right, for prisoners or ex-offenders not to be homeless. And then organizations that provide jobs. There are many organizations that provide jobs, right? Community boards, right? And that way, there are social services, right, that the community boards might be able to post that the person can get. So by competing with different community boards, they're going to have resources, right? Workforce in Oklahoma, right? There are workforce development agencies that will hire ex-offenders. You see how we came up with what, maybe 5 or 6? Maybe 5 or 6. This is not difficult. This is your homework. I want you to come up with 5 partners that you're going to absolutely partner with. But listen, don't worry about needing to have the partnership completed by the time you send off your grant applications. You can literally list their names and say, I'm working on partnerships with these organizations. But this is your homework. Name 5 based on your program and your organization and your services, right? And your program. Doesn't matter if you are for-profit or nonprofit. That's your homework. Name 5. Now we're off to the money. when you are completing your grant budget, this is how you're going to spend the grant money. Itemize your expenses. You want to hire someone with the grant money? You can't just say, I want to spend $10,000 to hire this contractor. How many hours is the person working? What is the pay rate per hour? How many hours a week? How many weeks out of the year? Be specific. And then how you describe what you're paying goes into the budget narrative. So your description of what you are providing with the grant money goes into the budget narrative. And here's a clue. I always provide a budget narrative, whether or not the grant application will ask for one, because I want that foundation to know that, yes, the money that I'm seeking is going to be used to support my mission and is going to align to your mission, foundation. So I include that information in the budget narrative so that they know where and how I'm spending their money. Now, this is a slide here, because if you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is it. This is oftentimes more important than anything you will ever write in the application. That you meet with the foundation first, that you build this relationship, that you start this relationship. They want to meet with you. They're considering giving you grant money. You should want to meet with them. You're trying to get their grant money. And if you meet with them, they oftentimes will give you insight into the grant that's not even on their website, because you're building this relationship. I always think about one client, 30-minute Zoom meeting with the foundation, and they got $30,000. This does not have to be difficult. And yes, I said Zoom, because most of these meetings are Zoom meetings, 30-minute Zoom meetings. Now, if you live in close proximity to the foundation, meet with them in person. But yes, these are Zoom meetings, because remember, you're applying for grants all over the country, not just in your area. So you can't drive all over the country to meet with foundations. You set up a 30-minute Zoom meeting. Now, a lot of you are still thinking, oh, Linda, this sounds good, but I don't think I have time. Let me tell you, one, remember what I said earlier, that a lot of these applications are only 3 or 4 pages. 2, AI will give you your time back. There is a way that you should be working with ChatGPT to help you write grants that will give you your time back. We'll talk about ChatGPT in a few minutes. But it will give you your time back. It is an amazing tool, but you must use it correctly. All right. Now, really quickly though, before we even move on, you're asking me, how do you set up this meeting? You send an email to the foundation, to a person at the foundation, never to info, to a person at the foundation. This is why this is a framework. This is a framework, right? That I've created, that I've used. You send an email to a real person at the foundation. In the email, you are linking your mission to their mission, your work to where they fund. And you ask for a meeting. You never, ever, ever, ever ask for grant money in the email. You're going to get a rejection letter if you do. You ask for a meeting, and in the meeting, once you get it set up, that's where you ask for your money. All right? All right. That's a huge clue for you. Now, let's talk about where you find the money. You do grant research. Now, people, Google is fine, but Google is not enough. You need to go to a portal where what they do is provide information about grants. There are still government grants available. Yes, even though grants have been cut, there are still government grants available. The Foundation Directory Online, that's the leading source of information on grants in the US. They will give you information on the organizations that provide grants. You plug in what you do. Let's say you have a homeless ministry in Detroit, you plug that in, and they will give you a list of organizations that fund that type of a program. $50 a month, or totally free access at your local library. Another reason to love libraries. Grants.gov, Lilly Foundation, for those of you who are faith-based or churches, there are absolutely grants for you. Grant Watch, they do provide explicit information about the grant. So they give you the link to the grant application. They give you the sponsor of the grant, right? They give you the deadline. They give you the amount. $20 a week to subscribe. Or they always have a special that's $200 for the whole year. So $20 a week or $200 for the whole year. All right. And then we have Grant Station. They're $200 for the whole year. And they have so many grant openings as well. And then lots of training. And then urbanawarenessusa.org, they're Black owned. They probably drop information on 2 to 3 grants every single week. Tell them Linda sent you. You can sign up for their free newsletter. Now, this is Grant Watch. Let me just show you what you do when you are researching. You plug into the middle, are you a nonprofit or a business? You look to the left. Again, this is grantwatch.com. They're $20 a week or $200 for the whole year. Look to the left there. You start plugging in these categories. Who are you serving? Who is your target population? What is your area of interest? What is your location? You push a button, you get a list of grants. You get a list of grants. $20 a week or $200 for the whole year. Let me say something to all of you about location, because many of you are leaving money on the table. You've got to start local. It's easier for you to get local grant money. Yes, it's easier for you to get local grant money. Absolutely easier. So start local, but don't ignore your national grants. Just because the foundation is in Texas doesn't mean they're not giving money to you. And excuse me, you're in Tennessee. All right. And for my international friends, this is for you as well. Somebody's here from Panama City, Panama. You search for international grants. Absolutely. Keep in mind, a lot of these grant portals, they house information from conglomerates, from global organizations. So yes, when you are searching, you can search for international grants as well. All right. So this is not just for US based organizations. You could live here in the US and serve a population in Panama City and look for grants. You could live in Panama City, search for grants in Panama City, right? So just keep in mind, these are international grants as well. Now, I wanted to show this to you just so that you understand that there are still grants available, even many earmarked for you as women, regardless of what you're seeing on TV. HelloAlice.com, right? That's the portal for grants for predominantly women-owned small businesses. There's 6 grants right now on HelloAlice.com. There was last week. Do you have a brick and mortar, maybe a physical store? There's a Main Street grant. I mentioned Amber Grants for Women earlier. They give away $30,000 every single month. Do you need a larger amount of money? Maybe you need an angel investor. 37angels.com. All they do is fund women-owned businesses to the tune of up to $150,000. For those of you seeking international grants, go to iFund Women. They have quite a few international grants. Are you a startup? Sky's the limit. That grant is for startups. You see where it says small near Amarillo? Please understand that small organizations get grants too. You don't have to be some huge conglomerate. You can be a solopreneur. Somebody's a solopreneur. Solopreneurs get grants too. Because there are organizations like Amarillo, that's what they focus on. Super small organizations. Or you might say, Linda, this is not for me. I don't even have a paid staff. I don't even pay myself. All volunteer organizations get grants too. All volunteer organizations. Now, really quickly, I want you to put into the chat, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks and money? Really quickly, banks and money. Banks and money. What do you think about? Banks and money. What is the first thing? Loans, credit. Yes. Hard to get them. Hard to get them to let hard to get them to let go of it. Difficult. Banks are some of the largest providers of grant money. Grant money in the United States. Banks, yes. It doesn't have to be your bank. It could be a bank with just a good footprint in your community, maybe a regional bank, a family-owned bank, National bank that's maybe headquartered, maybe they have a regional office or local offices, right? I'm in Ohio. Key Bank is one of the largest foundations in Ohio. I'm giving you 4 hot leads: Bank of America, Wells Fargo, TD Banks, and Truist. We're going to drop those links in the chat. Yes, you need to meet with them. Yes, they all offer grants. Hundreds of millions of dollars in grant money is offered every single year, constantly throughout the year by banks. All right? By banks. Bank of America is in Charlotte. Meet with them. You will need to meet with all of these. And don't call them and say that you heard there were some grants. You have to go through these links. Now, ChatGPT, let's talk about it. Whatever you do, please be careful. If you're using ChatGPT, it's never going to be a replacement. It is a tool. It is great for editing, great for retooling, great for research, excellent for research. It will help you write faster and better and more detailed grants, absolutely. But there is no getting around you being able to understand how to write the basic components of a grant application: your mission, your need statement, your project, your service, your impact statement. You have to understand how to write these components. And then you're going to dump that information once you write it and you're using ChatGPT. Dump it into ChatGPT. Let it expand, let it rewrite. But you've got to understand how to write each component. And that brings me to my bonus surprise. I have written a course that will teach you exactly how to do this, how to write every part of that grant narrative. And if you need additional help, I love ChatGPT. I'm giving you great information to then feed into ChatGPT if you want to use AI. But this course is how I won $17 million. And I'm sharing it with you so that you can do the same. And your secret weapon is absolutely going to be my coaching. Because there are some things that ChatGPT is good for, and there are some things that there is no substitute for. And that is great coaching. And I'm going to serve as your grant coach. Now, the course will teach you how to write every part of the application, how to do the grant research. But let's say you set up a meeting with the foundation. Do you know what to say? Do you know how to say? Do you know what to ask for? How much money to ask for? Do you know what you should never leave that meeting without knowing? We have a private Facebook group. You come into the private Facebook group and you ask us any question you want, and we're going to give you help. Help coming from real people. I'm in there all the time, right? You will get the help that you need because the course will teach you how to write your budget, but do you know whether or not you should be asking for project program money or operating money? It makes a difference, right? Having a framework is how my clients are getting grant money every single day, right? As I said before, there is a framework, there is a process to this. I've been hired to write grant applications and to develop grant questions. I utilize those questions to build this course. So this is like you completing a fantastic grant template based on real in-depth grant questions, but now you have help because you've got a 24/7 Facebook group and even more. So by the time you're done with this course, you will have completed your grant template. You're going to take and apply to grant after grant after grant. This is why it makes it easier and faster. You get 12 modules and 35 lessons. You get a video in front of every single, probably 90% of the lessons have videos. And you even get actual grant examples. I show you what a winning grant looks like. And these are course bonuses. When I said I was able to help you and wanting to help you, I meant it. I give you a list of over 600 funders. And then I mentioned the Facebook group. It is everything because there are constant grants being dropped right in the Facebook group. So many grants being dropped right in the Facebook group. So that's where you get like the latest, greatest grants. And then to make sure you're you're successful, I give you an hour of monthly group coaching. That's not one and done. That's every month. We join together and I answer your questions. Make sure that you are on the right track. Now, these numbers, you're only paying a fraction of what you see, but these numbers are important because I've had my course audited 3 times, and this is the value. The 12 modules and 35 lessons are worth $3,549. The videos are worth $599. The funding list is worth $499. The workbooks, planners, and grant trackers, you have to stay organized, are worth $350. But I make sure that this price is not going to be one of those hurdles. I give it to you as a fraction of what the course is worth because I know it is helping. It is literally helping organizations to get grant money. So yes, my course is valued at $5,000, but that's not what I'm going to charge. It's usually $997, but because of everything that's been going on, right, to make things more difficult for you to get funding, I reduced the price to $497. You're not even going to pay that. You hopped on the webinar. You get to pay $297. You get to take $200 off the $497 price. I'm going to give you a code here, coupon code, where you can just literally use the discount code to take $200 off. Everything is one and done for you. $297. That's it. That's your only payment. And you get the course. You get the Facebook group with so many resources. And you even get the live monthly group coaching calls with me live. If you want to make 2 payments instead of one, it's $175 a month. The use code JULY08. Put a little T on the end of the code that stands for 2 months. The regular code for you to take off $200 is JULY08. And you read right at the end, my course never expires. It is here to help you forever. So yes, you get the full course that will help place you in that position to get grants. Because if you're going to get grants, please do so in a community where you can get the help that you need so that you're not confused, you're not frustrated, you don't give up. It includes my coaching. Everything's tax deductible. Write it off either as a business expense or an educational expense. You can write it off, and you even get a certificate when you're done. And I have templates for you. You want templates? Remember I said you need to meet with the foundation via Zoom? I have the email template for you. All you do is just plug in your information. You want a partnership? I have the partnership letter with you. I have a grant application template that you can use when you're answering questions in the course. You want financial documents? I have them. Somebody talked about sponsorships. I have a sponsorship kit in the Facebook group that you can download and use. Make it easy for you. But you have until Friday. You have until Friday to get the additional $200 off. And I don't want you using an excuse about time to not write these grants. I wrote an AI grant guide. This guide specifically will help you to use AI to write grants faster and easier. It's my AI grant guide, 10 steps to easier and faster grant writing. I give it to you for free. It's part of the $297. I'm throwing it in because it's time for you to get grant money. It's a $200 value. You're getting it for free. It includes a bonus tutorial and 100 bonus prompts. If you know anything about ChatGPT, you know that you have to feed it prompts. I give you bonus prompts. I give you the prompts, right? To make it easier. So if you want to buy the course, the link is in the chat. If you want to pay the $297 and that's it, you're one and done, you get everything. When you click the link, you're going to see this page, hit purchase now, next to the $497, because remember, you've got a $200 coupon. Most people have no coupons. You have a large one. So click $497. It will take you to this page. You hit have a coupon, input your coupon code. It will take everything down to $297. Now you see this little block here. That's if you want to meet with me privately. Or we do a deep dive into your organization. Because before I talk to you about grants, I'm going to look at your mission and your vision and your infrastructure and your target population and your services. And many of you, I know you've got 10, 20 ideas in your head. We're going to leave with one that you're going to focus on. And I'm going to leave you with a list of local and national grants. It's $495. It is a strategy session. So you leave with the video of the entire session and the notes. And the only time it's reduced to $195 is if you buy it with the course. So you can buy it along with the course and only pay $195 for it. The course is $297. The one-on-one with me private is $195. All right. And for those of you who like buy now, pay later options, this is only if you choose the one payment plan, the one payment option, $297. We offer a firm Afterpay and Klarna. That's 4 months, same as cash. I want you to think about this. 4 months, same as cash. You're paying what, $300 for the course divided over 4? That's $75 a month. To finally not be frustrated, to not give up, to get the help that you need to write these grants. All right. Now, if you're interested in the 4-month payment plan, when you click to buy, you still input your discount coupon. You're at $297. You can add the one-on-one coaching, but when you get to the payment method, you may need to hit a couple of times pay another way until you see Affirm, Klarna, or Afterpay. All right, you may have to hit pay another way a couple of times because these tend to be buried. Affirm, Klarna, or Afterpay. Or again, this is an option. If you just want to pay with a credit card or PayPal or Cash App or Google Pay, we have those options too. Now, this is for the one payment. Either you can pay the one payment, $297, or stretch it out over 4. Or we have still the 2-month payment plan. You pay us $175 a month twice, but you're going to hit the 2 times $275 button because guess what? You've got a coupon. You're not paying $275 a month. You're paying $175 because you input your coupon code. You'll pay $175 a month for 2 months. And yes, you can still add on the grant coaching. Now, for those of you who are ready for something different, we have a grant writing boot camp. I teach you 2 months worth of work in 2 days, 7 hours a day. It's an intensive. By the time you leave, you will leave with a completed grant application. You will leave with a list of partnerships. You will leave with the implementation plan. You will leave with a list of local and national grants. I teach you 2 months worth of work live, and it's remote. $1,997. Or if you want a payment plan, 2 payments of $1,249. All right. And the value is over $11,000. It's you and me, 2 days. Keisha took the boot camp. It was February 27th and 28th, I believe it was. She had never written a grant before. She took the boot camp, 2 days, 7 hours a day. She was ready. When we were done, 6 weeks later, she had her first grant. 2 weeks after that, she had a $100,000 grant. This is a person that had never written a grant before. She took the boot camp. All right, so if you're interested in the boot camp, send me an email. I'm putting my email address into the chat, and we can have another chat and set up a meeting for the boot camp. Now, these winners here, they only spent $300 for the course. They didn't do anything else. They spent $300 for the course. Nicola, $250,000 a couple of weeks ago. $250,000 a few weeks ago. She applied for $50,000 a year over 2 years. They gave her $250,000. All right. And she has a for-profit. For those of you who are small businesses who are not thinking you can get grants, she has a for-profit small business and won a $250,000 grant. Whitney, she's CEO of Pickles and Popsicles. She has a doula organization, won $200,000 in 1 year. $200,000 in 1 year. She did exactly what I'm asking her to do. Start local, go national. Kanisha has a nonprofit, $100,000 this year. Kimberly, for-profit, $84,000 this year. Cherie, nonprofit, $11,000. And guess what she did? She had applied for $10,000 last year. And this is a clue for all of you. Once you get grant money, always, always, always apply again. You have to wait a year, but apply again and always ask for more money. She asked for $10,000 the year before. This time she asked for $11,000 and got it. And then there's a masseuse company. They won $20,000. A masseuse company, right? They're saying the course and the grant changed their lives, changed their business. Christina has an online educational firm. You don't need a physical store. You can be online and get grant money. She won $10,000 and a mentorship, right? So yes, it is possible. These people are winning grants now, even with all of the negativity that you're hearing in the media and grant cuts here and they're winning grant money every day. Why? because of that $189 billion that you saw earlier in this presentation. That money is being given out every day. All right. So it is Q&A time. Q&A time. Yes, for the code lowercase, use all lowercase for the code. I should have stated that. I'm going to help you with this really quickly. I'm going to do this live for those of you who are trying to buy the course. I'm going to do this live so that you see exactly how to buy the course. When you hit that link, you're going to come to this page here. Let me show you the page. Da, 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 da. Come on, come on. You're going to come to this page right here. When you click the link, you want to buy the course for $297 all in, one payment. Hit purchase now for $497 because what do you have? You have a $200 coupon. So you put in the coupon code. What is it? Lowercase JULY08. Hit apply. What is going on with that code? Let's see what's going on with that code. Let me see really quickly. Let me make sure. Hold on one second. Let me make sure this is correct. Oh, it may be JULY8. Let me see. Let me see if it's 08 or 8 really quickly. Really quickly. Let me see if it is 08 or 8. Let me double check. There we go. 609-504, 609-504. All right, let's see. What do we have here? We've got to get this corrected. All right, there we go. All right. What is it? Let me just confirm that I have given you the right code. There we go. All right, try it now, all lowercase. Try it now, all lowercase, JULY08. Make sure it's all lowercase, and it should be fine now. All right. So let me go back to what I was doing, and let me show you how to get the course live. All right, let me do this live. I'm going to share my screen. There we go. All right, so this is what you do. You click on the link, purchase now. There we go. Have a coupon. So it's all lowercase, JULY08. Now when you hit apply, there we go, but take off $200. So it should be $297. If you want the private session with me, click the box. That's optional. You don't have to click it. All right, so let's remove it. So it's $297. Now, put in your email to create your account. Now, if you want the 4 months same as cash, you may have to click pay another way a couple of times because it doesn't always show up right away. You may have to click pay another way until you see Affirm, right? Or Afterpay or Klarna. Those are the 3 buy now, pay later methods. And guess what? You get the course right now. You don't wait. We don't drip our course. You get everything now. You get access to the course, Facebook group, the group coaching calls, everything now. But if you want the 4-month payment plan, just keep hitting pay another way until you see Affirm pop up, or it may say Afterpay or Klarna. If you don't want the 4 months same as cash, that's great. We have a credit card, a section here. We have a bank withdrawal section. We have Cash App. We have, what else? Google Pay or even PayPal. All right. Now, let's say you just want to pay us twice and be done. 2 times 175. Hit the 2 times 275. That's the payment. That's our own payment option. You pay us twice. But what? You've got a coupon, JULY. This should work. 08 with the little T. You hit apply. There you go. We'll take off $100. You're paying $175 a month for 2 months. And then you can still add on the grant coaching. You don't have to. That's optional. And do the same thing again. Put in your email. Drop down. Again, you may need to see a section that says pay another way until you get to your payment plans. If not, we've got credit cards, bank statements, Google Pay, and PayPal and Cash App Pay. So hopefully that clears that up. All right, all right, all right. All right, let's see. We're on to the Q&A. But before we do the Q&A, before you leave, there's one thing I need for you to do for you, not for me. Please do this before you leave. I believe in manifestation. I don't want you to wait, right? Because this grant money is available. Really quickly, right now, I want you to put into the chat, I am ready to get grant money. I am ready to get grant money. Do this for you. Like, get this out of your system. Manifest this into the universe. Just write it down. Just get it out of your system before you leave, right? Like, write this down into the chat. I am ready to get grant money, so that you leave here ready to pursue what is yours, right? You know now that grant money is available. Even more so now from your local foundations and your corporate foundations and your private foundations. They are scrambling, giving out more money, right? Trying to fill in the gaps created by those federal cuts. So the money is available. All right. All right. I'm ready to get grant money. Eugenia, I need for all of you to write this. Write this for you. Don't write this for me. Write this for you. All right. I'm ready to get grant money. And right now, everybody needs to stop and give Paula some love, because Paula bought the course. Paula was like, I'm tired of not knowing where to find this money, or not knowing how to find the money, or being frustrated because people keep saying there are no grants. And you see, there are grants available, right? These people are getting grants now. So I need some love for Paula. I need to see some clapping of hands, some hearts or something. I will see you in the Facebook group, Paula. You come over to the Facebook group. Those of you who are buying the course, you're going to get 3 emails, an email with your link to the Facebook group. You don't want to miss out on the Facebook group. The magic is happening in there. And then you create your username and password. But I'm going to do something special for all of you who buy the course. When you get over to the Facebook group, I'm going to ask you to give me just a little synopsis of your organization. I'm going to give you links to where you should be searching for grants. I'm going to do that for you, because I want you to get off to a great start. And keep in mind, you're going to get the AI, the $200 AI guide, so that you understand you can do this. Those people that you saw, they're all my students. Most of them had never written a grant before. This is less than $300. You want the 4-month savings cash is $75. I am committed to keeping this course low. As you can see, I have other services that are significantly higher, but this course is getting organizations grant money. Therefore, I'm going to always keep it low. So that is not another barrier, right, for you to get grant money, for you to get the help that you need. I have friends who charge $2,000. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up. There are people that charge $2,000 for their grant writing course. You don't even get what I give you, and you certainly don't get any access to them. This course is less than $300, and it can absolutely change your organization if you get grant money and you see what's happening. Like all those people, they're in the Facebook group. You can come in and ask them, what did they do? Nicola, $250,000. And she wrote a post yesterday giving out information as to where and how she got the grant. Like, people, there's more money available. This is what people are not understanding. They're thinking because of what's happening in the White House, there are no grants. She's like, people, the money is available, right? Apply for it, but know how to apply for it, because time is money. I don't want you wasting your time figuring out where you should be applying, how you should be applying. I heard there was some grant money somewhere. No. All right. All right. So let me get to the Q&A. Wanting to know the best grants for a Black female solopreneur who needs money for retreats to pay what bills? Let me be super clear. Grant money is not for personal use. Grant money is for either your nonprofit or your small business. So if you're paying bills based on the expenses from your small business, or your nonprofit, great. So retreats, let me tell you what's going to be helpful for you. So you're a solopreneur, meaning you are a for-profit business. So you're going to be looking for small grants, small business grants, right? Here's what's going to help you. What kind of retreats? Remember, we talked about target populations. What are your retreats for? Because all of you should be looking in multiple categories for grants. So, corporate wellness, what does that mean? Corporate wellness, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Does that mean that you work in the area of providing wellness options in corporate settings for corporate employees? Right? Is that what that means? Or when you say corporate wellness, do you mean wellness on behalf of the corporation, making sure that corporations are are healthy in terms of their business models and their income? So you've got to be specific. And wellness how? That's a buzzword. What do you mean? What is it that you're offering when you say wellness? Is it exercise? Are you providing like heart healthy eating habits, heart healthy exercise to people who work in corporate settings? The more specific you are, the easier it will be for you to get grant money. You can get a corporate sponsorship based on what you do. I have a sponsorship kit in the course that you can use, but it's going to be based on what you do specifically. And you can ask for sponsorships based on what you do. So let's say it's about heart healthiness, right? You can ask for a sponsorship from pharmaceutical companies like Johnson and Johnson, because oftentimes they create medicine for that people need to take if they have issues with their heart. And here you are with a more organic method of having a healthy. Ask for a sponsorship from them. Look to your industry for your sponsorships. Or sometimes you can literally go to any type of industry in your local community that has a connection to how and where you are providing a service. So that's going to be the connections because they're in your community. But on a national basis, look for those who are in the same industry. You have a transportation company, you want a sponsorship? Look to transportation organizations. Every single major airline has a foundation. FedEx has a foundation where they give grants. UPS, they give grants. Same area, right? Same industry, transportation. That's why it's important to know exactly what it is that you're doing, right? What type of retreats are you having? And are they retreats just really based on corporations and employees that work in corporations? If that's the case, you need to be reaching out to HR departments, because HR departments, that's typically where you see organizations provide different types of wellness programming or fitness programming, right? So you should definitely be reaching out to HR corporations. But yes, target who you want to get the sponsorship for and use the sponsorship kit, but you've got to be able to list what you're offering. All right. Somebody asked me whether or not grant money was taxable. It is for small businesses. If you are a nonprofit, you're not paying taxes, so no. But if you are a small business and you get a grant, it is taxable. It is taxable. How does corporate sponsorships work? Let me explain that to you. Let me explain to you how sponsorships work, period. This is for all of you to listen and understand. There is a difference between a grant and a sponsorship. You don't pay either back, but there's a difference because when you get a grant from an organization, they don't expect anything from you, right? They've given you the grant money, you send out thank you messages, you put it on social media, you do your grant TV report in a year to let them know how you spent the money, but typically they can't expect anything of value from you because they gave you a grant. Most cases that's illegal. They can't do that. But a sponsorship is different. If you are seeking a sponsorship, expect to give something up for that sponsorship. So if you have a retreat, Marjorie, expect the person that's giving you the sponsorship to maybe talk at your retreat to your audience, Maybe they want to put an ad in your program booklet at your retreat. Maybe they want to put their little tchotchkes, right, in your swag bag at your retreat. I had one client, her audience is our attorney offices, right? So she works with attorney offices, law offices. So these are typically higher income individuals. And I said, go to your local luxury dealership and get a sponsorship. She was having an event. Go to your local sponsor, your luxury car dealership, ask them for a $30,000 sponsorship for the ability to place their luxury car in front of the building where you're going to have your retreat. It's a win-win situation. You get $30,000 and they get the opportunity to showcase their luxury car in front of one of their target populations, higher income individuals, attorneys. Everybody wins. You see how that works, Paula? But you need your sponsorship kit so that you can list, okay, for $30,000, you get this. For $20,000, you get this. For $5,000, this is what you get. And again, I have sponsorship kits in the course so that you see exactly how that works. All right, let me go back up to the webinar chat because I did see questions, other questions. Let's see. Someone said that they're starting a nonprofit to help foster kids age out of foster care. There are specific grants just for that. This is why you have to be able to search. There are specific grants just for that, just for organizations that help foster kids who are aging out of foster care. Yes, you have to pay taxes on grant money if you are a small business. Let's see, other questions. What if I don't have income yet, just starting? That's what a lot of the startup grants are for. They don't expect you to have income, but you've got to have a great idea and a great plan forward, right? Okay, answer that question about the Black female solopreneur. Also, you should be seeking grants, Marjorie, that are geared towards Black organizations. They're still out there. Those kinds of grants are still available. Can you get a grant to help others get storm shelters when they can't pay for one? Only if that's what your company does, right? You can't just get a, let me take that back because there's different kinds of grants. You're talking about if you can get a grant to help others get storm shelters, if that is what your organization does. But you have to have a company, you have to have a nonprofit or a small business. And if that's part of what you do in the course of you helping people, then that's where you can apply the grant funding. Now, there are other grants available to people to help them fortify their homes. That money usually comes directly to those people from their city, state, or county governments. Those are different, that's different kind of money, right? But if you have an organization where you specifically help people, and I would think that whatever your organization is doing more than just helping people get storm shelters. If you're helping them to maybe understand some of the, or helping them become aware of some of the safety issues within their home or of home ownership period, and ways in which they can make their home safer, and that's part of what you do, then yes, you can apply for a grant. But this needs to be within a larger framework. You're doing something more than just helping others get storm shelters. That can be a part of what you do, right? Let's see. We need more equipment and working capital to get another employee. So it depends on what you're doing. That's how you're going to look. What is your area, Paula? What is your area? Because as you could see, when I search for grants under Grant Watch, you have to input your category. What is your category? That's where this is going to help you. And then the course will help you with all of that because you literally have to define. My questions will get you to define exactly who you're helping and how you're helping them. That's why having a course where you answer the questions, and at the end of the course, you have that grant template, because these are the questions you're going to be asked on a grant application. But now you won't need to worry about, where do I get the information? How do I get, because you will have it, because you have completed the course, and you will have it completed well, because you will have help from us and help from me. All right. Let's see. So yes, the portals where you're going to search for grants do charge. Candid, which is also the Foundation Directory Online, is $50 a month. Like they don't provide this information free, because they have to support their organizations to be able to give you this information. It requires staff and research. However, you can go to your local library and get access to Candid, which is the Foundation Directory Online, free access at your local library, right? I'm not familiar with shareware, but yes, the portals that you're seeking information from is free. But keep in mind, I'm giving you 600 grants in the course. You get grants, constant grants in the Facebook group, and then I show you how, once you get into these portals, how to search. I give you a video on how to search. But like I said, the Foundation Directory Online, free access at your local library. And some libraries I have since found will also give you access to GrantWatch. All right. Definitely apply to Amber Grants for Women. They're very much legitimate. But again, they're one of the few outlets that charge you to apply for their grant. All right. Be mindful of this. Let's see, other questions. So Paula, you use ChatGPT. There's a way you're going to get my guide. Be absolutely sure you go through that guide, because there's going to be information in that guide that will help you use it even better and faster. All right. So is anybody joining Paula to stop being frustrated about looking for grants and having the support that you need? That is everything, because when you don't have support, you get frustrated and you give up. You don't want to give up. It's less than $300. You have 3 days, by the way, to get the discount. All right, let me just make sure there are no more questions. Let's see. Family-owned excavation company. Construction, yes. Sometimes it's construction of what? So you have a family-owned excavation company. Think about where you would put grant money. That's one of the first things you need to do. Where do you need grant money? Because where you need grant money will also help you determine where you're going to look for grant money. All right, that will help you determine where you're going to look. So let's say you're a woman-owned business, so you should be applying to women-owned businesses grants. You should be on helloalice.com. You should be on Amber Grants for Women. And by the way, Amber Grants for Women is $30,000 a month divided into 3 categories. One is for startups. Somebody said there was a startup. $10,000 for startups, $10,000 for just regular organizations, and $10,000 based on a theme. Based on a theme. There's a theme every month. And let me see if I can pull this up really quickly and see what the theme is. Let's see what the theme is for July. Here, I'm going to try to pull this up quickly. Let's see what the theme is for July. There we go. I'm going to share my screen so that you see what the theme is for. Come on. There we go. So this is Amber Grants for Women. So $10,000 animal services is July. June was business support service. That's passed. So animal services in July hair care and skin care in August, education and child care in September, creative arts in October, STEM November, fashion and interior design in December. Paula, yours was skilled trades in January. You would have applied then, but you can still apply for the regular generic $10,000 grant, all of you, right? All of you. So this is how they divide it. Just a monthly award winner, $10,000, $10,000 for a monthly startup. And by the way, startups are usually like your, here it is, they will tell you how they define a startup. We define a startup as a business still in the idea phase, right? Idea means you don't need to have made one dime. Idea phase or one with minimum sales under $10,000, right? So for those of you who are thinking about opening, there you go. You will not have to earn one dime. That's their startup definition. All right. Let me stop sharing. So that should encourage some of you. So yes, you can get grant money without having purchased. So if you purchase the one-on-one, I ask you to determine when you want to meet with me. It is different for every organization. There's no deadline, but you decide. Some organizations want to meet with me right away, which is fine. We look at our schedules, we meet. Some want to wait until they are writing a grant to meet. That's fine. Some people want to wait until they finish the course. That's fine. It's totally up to you. So Paula, when you are ready, you send us an email and then we will choose dates and meet with you conveniently. I remember one client literally wants to remain anonymous, won a $2 million grant and wanted to make absolutely sure. They're like, we are not touching this money until we meet, because they wanted to make sure they were in full compliance. Because once you get grant money, there are expectations, right? For example, you need to make sure you're spending the money exactly where you wrote in the grant application you were going to spend it, right? So that will be left up to you. Just let us know. You can send us an email and let us know when you want to meet. But I will see you over in the Facebook group. You're going to get an email, Paula, and I'm going to ask you for a synopsis of your organization. I'm doing this for everybody. When you give it to me, I'm going to send you some links right away. Links right away. Even before we meet, I'm going to send you some links where you can go to look for grants, right? Because I'm here to help you. All right. I'm here to help you. All right. So I believe we're done. Let me make sure. Please put my email list on your safe senders list or your email contact list, because you're going to get the replay via email. My email address is hello@grantwritingfornonwriters.com. If any of you are interested in the grant boot camp, send me an email and I can set up that date. Let's see. You're saying, yes, we do. Lots of people can't pay for them. I have that posted on my website. We install the shelters. Are you speaking of homeless shelters by any chance? I'm not sure, but that's what you're speaking about. All right, let me just see if there are any other questions. And then you have 3 days, and hopefully I will see you in the Facebook group over the course of the next 3 days, because the money is available. All right. So I believe we are, let me make sure I answer the questions in the Q&A. Yep, I am done. We're done. Thank you so much. My name is Linda Peavy, creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals, and founder of Lapov Consulting, LLC. I hope to see you all in the Facebook group. Like, do this for you. It's less than $300 total. That's it. It's not monthly. This is a one and done. And you finally get the help that you need. If you want a 2-month payment plan, you got it. If you want to spread it out over 4 months, $75 a month. Like, time is money. And a lot of you have spent a lot of time searching for grants, right? But not knowing where to go or how to write them. All right. So thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. I want you to have an absolutely excellent week. And just whatever you do, move forward, keep moving forward. Don't be discouraged by what you're seeing in the media. Keep moving forward. There are people waiting on your skills to manifest. People are going to need what you have to offer. All right. All right. Thank you so much. And hopefully I will see you all in the Facebook group. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.